Thank you so much for joining today. Before we get started, I do want to go over a few props that will come in handy throughout today's practice. Things like blocks, pillows, or even bolsters would be really nice. And if you don't have these options, you could use a rolled up blanket or a couch pillow or anything that's the size of a block that's a placeholder, like a book or something like that. And another prop we're going to be using is a corner space. So it might not be um necessarily a corner like I have, it could be furniture, but just some place that you can stand in and be able to find a little bit of comfy spot in a corner. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and get started by coming into a comfortable position. If you're seated in the chair, you're gonna come seated into the chair with your back up against the back. And if you're on the ground, let's come into a constructive rest, bringing the soles of the feet as wide as your mat, letting your knees maybe come together or stay apart, allowing your hands to rest either on your body or alongside you on the floor or the chair. And as you start to settle in, make any movements, make any adjustments so that you can really start to relax here. Allow your breath to lengthen. Your inhales become a little deeper. Your exhales a little more intentional. And allow yourself to settle in to this moment. Maybe you allow your eyes to close if you haven't already, or maybe you simply soften your gaze, letting it blur over as you settle into this moment of stillness in your day. As we make our breath as intentional as we can for the next few cycles, take a moment to notice how your body is feeling. Are there sensations flowing throughout your body? They could be negative sensations, positive sensations, joyous sensations, or heavy sensations. Just notice what there is to notice. Now, during today's practice, we're not going to have a specific breathing exercise. Instead, I'm going to challenge you to really notice your natural breath. Start to feel where the air is coming in, either at the nose or the mouth. Follow the air down the windpipe, noticing the way the rib cage, the sternum, the abdomen, or even the diaphragm move as you inhale and then exhale. And no matter whether your breath feels shallow or deep or changes throughout the practice, can you really just focus in on the function of that breath, feeling it throughout your entire body, the subtle shift of your shoulders, the muscles that start to relax on your exhale. And you simply notice whatever arises. Today we'll talk about being open to whatever arises in our lives. Whatever thoughts, whatever feelings, and whatever sensations come, let them. Before I found mindfulness and meditation, I used to block anything that didn't feel good, like an emotion that was heavy, or even a thought that was stressful. But I've learned that in order for things to fall away, they first must come up. So invite in whatever the present moment brings. Let it arise and be with it gently so that it can fall away. We must continually fill and empty our hearts to make room for our truths of who we are in each moment. So today, whatever arises, let it. As you continue your subtle awareness on your breath, you also allow your awareness to rest in your heart. Feel the heart as different emotions rise and fall as you breathe here. Let it all flow. Throughout our practice today, when you notice your mind wandering without judgment, simply notice, let it be, move with the breath, and let the emotions or feelings flow with your movements. Now let's take one last intentional breath here of our grounding practice. Then take a moment to offer yourself a little bit of gratitude that you've made it through 100% of the bad days so far. Made it through 100% of the good days so far. Here you are in this present moment. As you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe take a stretch of any kind. We'll flutter the eyes open. And then we'll start to add some gentle movement into our practice. If you're on the mat, go ahead and flip on over into a child's pose. We'll take the knees wide, and for this first pose of our practice, we want to add as many of those props as we talked about as feels good in your body. So maybe you bring a blanket under the knees, maybe you bring a pillow or a block under the hips. It could also be really nice as you stretch your arms out to bring that block under the forehead or a pillow under the forehead so that you're making contact. Or maybe you're stretching the hands out onto the blocks as well. And again, anything can work. It doesn't necessarily have to be a block. It could be any prop that just allows a little bit of lift to your hands. Now, if you're in the chair, we're still taking a child's pose. We're taking our knees wide. You can either bring your hands onto your knees as you start to hinge forward. You could also bring your elbows to your knees, bring your hands into a prayer pose, and then rest your forehead in your hands. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper from the chair, maybe you bring a prop under your hands as you extend them out. In this one, you can also bring that bolster or pillow or another prop under the forehead. letting you feel that contact. As we take just a few breaths, really allow yourself to get back into that awareness of your breath, awareness of your heart, awareness of this present moment. Noticing what arises. Maybe your hips feel a little tight and you want to shimmy from side to side. Maybe your bottoms of your feet are not feeling great and you want to tuck or untuck the toes. You're doing a beautiful job. Just another deep, intentional breath here. Great. We're going to keep our legs exactly how they are, but bring our torso up just about halfway so your forehead's not touching anything anymore. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to start to walk our hands over to the right side of our space. And you can do that either on the floor or on your props, or even just bringing both elbows to your right knee, depending on where you're at. And from here, we're getting a little bit of a side stretch, a banana side stretch through that left side body as we rest here. Noticing how that feels. You go ahead and take the hands over to the opposite side, over to the left side. And as you settle in, maybe you bring the right hand on top of the left hand. Or you reach the right fingertips a little bit further than the left fingertips. And then sink back into the breath, slow and steady. You're doing a beautiful job. One more breath on this side. Let's go ahead and come back through center, come up to that halfway point. And now we're going to bring our elbows either to our knees or to the ground underneath of us. We're going to bring our hands to a prayer, and then we're going to walk those elbows over to the right side. Now, if this feels like enough of a stretch, you're welcome to stay here. Or maybe you start to lift that right elbow, stacking your prayer hands, elbows and wrists into a straight line as you twist through this pose. And if that is too intense, maybe come out of that and open the arms wide. Great job. Go ahead and bring elbows towards each other. Walk your elbows to the left side of your space and then take the twist option. Maybe lifting the elbow or opening the arms wide. Twisting through the torso. Beautiful. Exhale to release your prayer twist. Come back through center and then come to sit on your knees. So maybe, or stand on your knees. Sorry, maybe you're tucking your toes here for adding a little stability. And if you like to have blocks for camel pose, go ahead and bring those back by your feet. Have them ready. Now in the chair, make sure you're giving yourself a little bit of space from the back of your chair. And then let's all begin to inhale and lift those arms up overhead, reaching up through the spine, lengthening here, maybe wiggling those jazz fingers as you reach the top. And then start to take your gaze up to look at between your hands. Notice how that subtle arch in the upper spine feels through your body. And then maybe start to take the hands behind the head. Maybe the gaze follows. Great job. Inhale, bring it back to a straight spine, gaze at the horizon. And then if you loved that variation, you're welcome to stay there. But if you'd like, maybe you bring your hands down towards your lower back, squeezing your elbows towards each other. You could start to pull the hips forward. We start to take our gaze up, squeezing shoulder blades back. And no matter where you're at, maybe you start to hinge back a little bit. You can keep those hands on the hips, or maybe you drop them towards those props or your heels. And from the chair, maybe you're dropping them anywhere on the chair, so they can be behind you or down towards the seat, but we're feeling that same arch throughout the entire spine. That heart opener as you breathe, as you notice what's rising. Maybe it's feelings, maybe it's emotions, maybe it's negativity. Just notice, let it be, and then let it fall away with your breath. Beautiful job. If you lowered your hands, inhale to bring them up towards your hips and then let them circle up and overhead. Beautiful job. From the chair, go ahead and bring your hands down towards your legs in seated mountain. And on the mat, go ahead and come on to tabletop, hands and knees. Straighten the spine from the top of the head to the hips. And then find your breath as you start to find your cat-cow. Inhaling to round the spine. Your chin comes towards your torso. Exhale to arch the spine, your belly button comes out. Take it at your own speed, match your breath to your movement. Again, that subtle awareness. Your body moving with your breath. You want to add a hold, you're welcome to hold, or maybe you make it a fluid movement. Great job. All righty, go ahead and come to your tabletop or your seated mountain. And if you're on the floor, we'll come into a hero's pose, keeping those toes tucked or untucked, maybe sitting back on your heels or your hips or a prop, coming to that straight spine. From the chair, we're going to do this half heroes at a time. So we go over to the right side, let the left knee come out, and then walk that right foot back so that we're getting that stretch through that right hip flexor. And then let's all take our right hand out in front of us. We're gonna let the palm flip out, the fingertips down towards the ground, and then take your left hand and begin to draw the fingertips back towards your body, all at once, getting a nice stretch through your wrist. And then go ahead and take the thumb out to the side. Great job. Feel free to release that side, take the other side, left hand out, palm out, fingers down, begin to draw the left fingertips back. And then the thumb. From the chair, if you're in half heroes, go ahead and switch sides, letting the left foot come back and the right knee widen. And from here, we're going to start to explore our neck just a little bit. So maybe you drop your chin to your chest. Maybe you start to take your gaze up and then down. Noticing how that feels through the neck. Bring it back to the horizon. Turn your chin over to the right and then to the left. Take it at your own pace, left to right, moving through the neck. And then maybe you start to add some circles or half circles. And if you're doing full circles, make sure you go in one direction a couple of times and then switch it up and go in the other direction a couple of times. And as you're exploring the sensations throughout your neck and shoulders, if something feels like it needs a little extra loving care, Maybe you add a hand and massage it. Maybe you add a hand to the side of your head, letting you stretch into it a little deeper. Feel free to take any movement here as you listen to your body in the present moment and explore the tension throughout your neck and shoulders. And with your breath, you let whatever arises start to fall away. Great job. Alrighty, go ahead and find a little stillness through the neck. And then let's all come on up to standing. We'll get there in our own time, in our own way. We'll come into our mountain pose. We'll let our hands rest by our side as we stand up really tall. And then let's circle hands up and overhead. So we're getting that full body extension now through both sides. And then let's step the left foot back just about a foot. Come up onto the tiptoes. And then let's take it into a side stretch, letting the hands come down towards the right so they can stay together if you'd like. Or you could bring one down to a prop or your hip as you stretch the left fingertips over towards the. Great job. Bring it back through center. Step the foot up. Let's take the opposite foot back. And then take your stretch to the left side. Great job. Come back through center. As we exhale, we're going to start to lift our right knee. You can always just leave the toes on the ground. You can bring a prop under your foot. Or you can let it come up to hip height. And then go ahead and take it into a twist. Maybe opening the arms out wide or capturing the knee with your hand. A little bit of a balance challenge. Inhale back through tall mountain. Exhale, twist it to the left. And again, start to lift heel or toes as you twist to the opposite side. Beautiful job. Inhale through center. Exhale, swan dive it down, taking those jazz fingers with you as you go. Hinge into a forward fold. Pause here, maybe grab opposite elbows, take a ragdoll, sway from side to side. Find a little bit of stillness. Maybe sink a little deeper into your whole fold. Release your hands to their previous location. Inhale, halfway lift, figure 7, gaze stays down. Exhale, hinge and fold. Alrighty, from here, if you'd like to take plank on the ground, we're going to bring our hands to the mat, bend our knees, step it back, plank or half plank. So knees can come to the ground and toes up, toes to the ground and knees up. And if you'd like to take this from a wall, from a standing position, you'll bring your hands shoulder height. Make sure there's enough of a lean that you are putting weight on wrists, elbows, and shoulders. Heels can be down or lifted. Beautiful. Hold this for one more breath. And then we're going to do 3 yogi push-ups on your own pace. So begin to bend the elbows. Let your nose slowly come down towards the mat or the wall. And then inhale to push yourself back up. Now you don't have to go all the way down. You don't have to make yourself arms shake. Just listen to your body as you take one last yogi push-up. Great job. Pause at the top of your push-up. And then if you're on the mat, go ahead and lower all the way down to the mat. And if you're on the wall, go ahead and walk yourself towards the wall. Now we're going to take a stretch through those hip flexors once again. So we're going to start to take our right foot and lift it Now, if you're on the wall, you're just stepping it back. You can keep those toes on the ground or you can lift it behind you. And if you're on the mat, you can make a pillow out of your hands and start to lift your foot and toe and leg behind you. Noticing how that feels. Beautiful job. Exhale, release. Let's go to second side. Inhale, take the foot up or behind you. Stretch through that hip flexor. You're doing a great job. Exhale to release. Go back to that first side, but this time we're going to take it into a quad stretch. So begin to bend your knee, heel comes towards your hip. Reach the hand or maybe your strap back towards your foot or ankle and draw that heel towards your hip. A little or a lot. Good job. Exhale, release side one. Go to side two. Start to bring your heel towards your hip. Drawing it there. Your strap, hand, maybe you're grabbing your pant leg. Maybe you're simply just reaching that heel to wherever it naturally goes. And you're noticing what arises. Beautiful job. One last breath here. Exhale to release. All right, from here, we're all going to come up to standing, getting there in your own time and in your own way. And we're going to find that corner we talked about earlier. This is going to be a great heart opener, a great stretch for the shoulders. So we're going to come standing in the corner. We're going to place hands at shoulder height on either side of the corner. Now give yourself a little bit of space between you and the corner. And begin to press into your hands, keeping your elbows in by your sides. Now you are welcome to stay here. Nobody has to put you in a corner. It's not an option if you don't want it. But if you'd like to go a little bit deeper into the butterfly wings, walk your body as close to the corner as feels comfortable for you. You could even rest your head against the corner, keeping your hands where they were. So you're almost in a cactus. As you press into those hands, you might even feel the shoulder blades squeezing together. Heart opening, standing tall, feel your breath, and simply notice what arises here. Breathe into it. You're doing great. One last breath. With the biggest inhale of your day so far, stand a little taller. With your breath, exhale, press into the hands a little bit more. And then go ahead and walk yourself out of the corner and away from the wall. Good job. Feel free to take any movement your body needs after that. All right, for this next sequence of movements, we may want to have a prop in front of us, like maybe a chair or a wall. And if you would prefer not to use that, maybe this is where you grab a block or something just to hold in between your hands. We're going to stand in our mountain pose with our prop of choice. And then we're going to start to bend into the knees and sink into our hips. We're coming into a chair pose. And we want to be mindful of our spine here. If we start to feel ourselves rounding or hunching forward, come out of this chair. We want as straight of a spine as we can, engaging your core here. Now, if you've chosen the hand prop, something in between your hands, simply hold it out in front of you at sternum level. And if you're using the chair, you're going to use that with your hands. Alrighty, from here, at any point, this chair becomes too intense, straighten the legs and sink back in when you're ready. We're going to add just a little bit of movement. We're going to take our right foot back. We're going to touch the toe down, and then we're going to come back into our chair. And then we're going to take that to the left side. Take this at your own pace. If you want to step the foot back and actually step it down for more stability, you're welcome to do that. But for more of a challenge, you're just touching the toe and coming back to your chair. Still concerned with the straightness of your spine and making sure that you're not losing the composure of your abdominals as you step back. Beautiful job. One more on each side. Come back to your chair. Inhale, straighten the legs. Give yourself just a break for a moment. And then exhale, sink back into your chair pose. Alrighty, we're going to take it into a twist here. Maybe it's that prayer twist we did earlier, or maybe it's a wide open twist, either hands out to the sides or hooking one on your outer knee. Inhale through center, feel free to straighten the legs. And then when you're ready, sink in, twist it to the other side. Great job. Inhale through chair. Tall mountain, rise up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain, rise up. Step that foot back. Lean to the right. Inhale through center. Step the right foot back, lean to the left. Inhale through center. We're going to take that twist, lifting the leg as we twist to the right. Back through center. Twist to the left. Back through center. Exhale, hands come down through prayer into a mountain pose. Let's step the right foot back. We're going to take the toes out just a little bit to the side, but then turn the hips forward. So like very similar to warrior one in the legs and the hips. We're going to straighten both legs, arms up overhead. And with our exhale, we're going to circle them to our lower back. Now you can keep your hands with fingers interlaced. You could grab opposite elbows. You could grab opposite wrists. You could simply hold your shirt or bring that strap behind you if you'd like. With our next exhale, we're going to control the movement with our abdominal muscles as we start to hinge forward. If you notice the ligament in the front of the knee, go ahead and bring a bend into it so that you're moving the stretch into the thigh muscle. We're taking a pyramid stretch. Now you can keep those hands on your hips. If you'd like to go deeper into the shoulder stretch, maybe lift the hands from the hips. And for more stability, release the bind, bringing your hands down to a prop on either side of your front foot. Notice how this feels. See if you can allow each exhale to soften you into this moment in some way. Beautiful job. We'll take one more breath here. If your hands were lifted off the hips, go ahead and lower them to the hips. And then all of us will release our binds, hand come towards the floor or a prop. Beautiful job. Inhale, come to a straight spine. And bring that back foot in. Great job. Let's switch sides. Left foot back. Inhale, arms up. Control the movement with your abdominals, strong and tall. Exhale, release the hands behind. Now, whichever thumb was on top last time, just go ahead and switch it up. And if you didn't have fingers interlaced, find a different way to switch your grip. Draw your knuckles down, lift the heart. Exhale, start your slow descent over the front of that leg. Beautiful job. One more breath here. The hands are lifted. Go ahead and lower them to your hips. And then let's all release the hands to frame the front foot, floor or prop or leg. Inhale, root to rise. Standing tall for the core. And go ahead and step in. Great job. All right, for this next sequence of movements, you normally take a floor pose. I'm going to ask you to change it up a little bit. See what arises when you change it up a little bit. So our options are either a wall or something flat, or a chair or something about hip height. So find the prop of your choice. We're going to take a puppy pose. If you're using a chair, I do recommend, or something like this, you're going to want to put a prop, like a blanket over it, to add a little more comfort. You're going to find your elbows coming to that prop. So again, if you're using a chair, your elbows come to the chair. If you're using a wall or something similar to that, your hands can be parallel, or maybe you bring them together interlaced. Elbows resting against the space. Wherever you're choosing to take your puppy pose, start to walk your hips back. Start to allow your head to dip in between your arms. It can rest on the wall, it can rest on the chair, it can dangle wherever you're at. Notice this lovely opening through the side body, throughout your shoulders, maybe your lower back, or anywhere else your body is bringing your attention. As you simply breathe here, let whatever arises arise. Last breath in puppy pose. Make it a deep one, make it a long one. Maybe a sigh on your exhale, sinking you even deeper. And then begin to walk your feet back towards your arms. Feel free to take any movement through those shoulders or hips that your body would like to take. All righty. You're coming down to the mat. Maybe you put a blanket under your hips. And if you're coming into a chair, maybe you move your chair so there's something close to you, across from you, like a wall or an ottoman or something that you can add just a little bit of support from. And on the chair mat, you can also use the wall as well if you want, by bringing yourself close to one. We're gonna get into some boats here next. So we're gonna come down onto our hips. If you're choosing the wall option, maybe you bring your feet up to the wall. If you're not, maybe you keep your feet on the floor. Another option would be to lift the feet off the floor, hold behind your legs. And you're always welcome to bring a strap around your feet as well. These are all great options. From the chair, again, you're sitting on your hips, you're bringing your feet up about level to your heart here. Now, wherever you're at, take just a moment to settle in, engage your core. We don't want to be floppy here. Your hands can be on your legs, they can be supporting you, they can be wherever you would like. And we're going to start to do one-legged toe taps here. So we're going to lift one foot, tap the toe, then come back into our variation of boat. Taking this at your own pace and your own speed. But notice those abdominals, maybe the lower ones on one side and then the other, as you move through these one-legged boat toe touches. You're doing great. Just two more on each side. And with an exhale, bring your feet to whatever surface you would like. Sit up tall through the spine and then lean over those legs. Maybe wrap the arms around your shins or under your legs. Curl chin towards chest, coming into what's called a loving boat. Feel that breath. Notice if it's shallow at the moment, if it's rapid. Again, we're not changing it, we're just noticing it, letting it be what it is. Maybe with time, we'll notice it start to slow down on its own from this loving boat. Great job. Alrighty. From here, start to unwind the spine. If you're on the floor, come down onto your back, sending legs long. And start to send arms long overhead. From the chair, we also want to be in a reclined position. So start to bring a pillow maybe behind you so your hips are forward and your shoulders are back. Send the legs long, we send the arms long. We're stretching a full body stretch here. We keep playing with these bananas. So let's go ahead and take your right foot over towards the right and then take your left foot over towards the left, maybe crossing at the ankle. Try to keep your hips exactly where they are, but then start to lean the hands over to the right as well, letting the left palm rest in the right hand as you take this full body stretch. Go ahead and bring it through center to the other side. This time crossing right ankle and right palm over left. You exhale, come back through center, finding your constructive rest. Hips or feet hip distance apart. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. If you're on the mat, go ahead and let your hands come down to rest by your side. And from here, we're going to start to take some rolling bridges, lifting our hips and then lowering them, taking this one vertebra at a time and at your own speed. Roll through the spine a little more. Now, from the chair, you have options as well. You can either stay right where you're at, enjoying this lovely reclined position. You want to bring your hands down by your hips, support your elbows with your chair. You can also start to play with lifting the hips. Imagine rolling the tailbone forward and up, and then maybe the hips hover or maybe they don't. Another great option to enjoy a lovely back bend is to simply bring your remove the pillow, bring your spine against the back of the chair and take your rolls over the back of your seat. This is a little more in the upper spine versus the lower spine, but it does also arch the lower spine as well. So we'll take just a couple more breaths at your own pace. Whatever bridge you've chosen, back bend. Last time through. You exhale, find your straight spine, your hips in line with your shoulders. And then let's go ahead and start to extend the right leg long. And then shimmy the hips over to the left side. We're going to take it into a twist. So if you're in the chair, maybe you cross at the ankles or the knees and let both knees fall towards the right. Keep that reclined position though, so your shoulders are touching. And then maybe you take your gaze over towards the left as well. And then on the mat, You can let that top knee hang out. You could bring a prop under it. If the twist is not feeling good with the one leg extended, maybe you bring your legs to stack. We're all working to keep our shoulders touching. And our gaze can literally go in any direction. Go forward to either side, whatever part way feels good for your twist. Last breath here. Inhale to bring your knees back through center. Send the left leg long. Shimmy the hips to the right. And then take that left or right knee across to the left. Crossing it, knee or ankle. Or taking any of the other options we already discussed here. As you take your reclined twist. Find that detail to attention on your breath. Noticing the sensations of the body, the emotions, the feelings, anything else that comes up. Simply breathing with it. Great job. Exhale to unwind the spine. All right, for this next bit of movement, you can do it one knee at a time if you're in the chair, or you can do it two knees at a time. That feels okay for your body, but start to hug either one or both knees in towards your chest, and then take the knee or knees in some circles. Maybe the knees stay together if you're doing both knees for a few rounds and then reverse. Maybe those knees separate. It's really up to you what feels best in your body. You're in the chair and you're doing it one knee at a time. Make sure that you equal it out and give the other knee and hip just as much time. You can also point and flex the ankles or roll the ankles. Any last little bit of movement your body wants here. Maybe you rock from side to side. Maybe you roll along the spine. Maybe you take a happy baby just for the fun of it. And then as you're ready, start to find your final resting pose of choice. You can always stay on your mat and take a corpse pose or take a constructive rest. You can always add props like pillows, blankets, sweaters, or socks. You're welcome to stay in your chair or move to a more comfortable space in your environment. But make any movements and any adjustments so that you can start to relax on command. Knowing that you can adjust at any point so that you can feel your version of stillness. Maybe you close your eyes or let your eyelids grow heavier. Begin to allow your body to relax. Let your hands rest wherever they feel at ease. And begin feeling the natural pull of gravity, the support of the earth beneath you. As you allow your body to truly settle in, as if the ground is cradling you completely. And then notice the rhythm of your breath as it flows in and out, steady and natural. No need to change it. We're simply observing. Each exhale is an opportunity to soften, to release, to let go of holding on to tension. Now, here again, we'll bring our attention to the sensations of our body. Noticing first the places where your body is in contact with your props or the floor. Feeling the weight of your body resting, growing heavier but supported. And then notice the air on your skin and the gentle rise and fall throughout your torso and belly as you breathe. Maybe there's warmth or coolness. Maybe there's subtle vibrations. Whatever you find, simply notice it without needing to label it as good or bad. It's just there. And allow yourself to settle deeper into this moment, sensing the stability of the earth below and the spaciousness around you. As you bring your focus to the sensations of your body, you feel the support of the ground around you and your connection with the earth. This grounding energy helps anchor us in this present moment, providing stability and strength. As you continue to breathe, maybe you even imagine roots extending from your body down into the earth, grounding you here even more deeply. Allowing the sense of grounding to bring a feeling of security or peace, reminding you that you are supported and held. As we rest here together, as we turn our attention inward, life is a series of moments, each one bringing something new and often unexpected. Our journey is enriched when we remain open to whatever arises, embracing the present moment with curiosity and acceptance. In this practice, we learn to soften our resistance and to invite a gentle openness to all experiences, whether they bring joy, challenge, or uncertainty. And this openness allows us to live fully and authentically, honoring each moment as it comes. So now, as you continue to breathe naturally, I invite you to bring this sense of openness to whatever arises in your awareness. Perhaps you notice a thought, a feeling, or a sensation. Without judgment, simply greet it with the soft, inward yes. Not a yes of agreement or even approval, but a yes of allowing a recognition that whatever is here belongs just as it is. And if you notice tension or resistance, you might gently say yes to that too. If the mind begins to wander, say yes to the wandering. And if stillness arises, say yes to the stillness. Whatever appears, comfort or discomfort, restlessness or calm, can be met with this spacious yes. Feel how this yes allows everything to settle, to be as it is, without needing to fix or change anything. We're simply saying yes to the moment and to life, just as it is. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful allowing today. Take a moment to notice the simplicity of being here. The ground beneath you, the breath moving through you, and the space around you. We can carry this openness with us as we move back into our day, remembering that we can meet each moment with a quiet, steady yes, not of approval, but simply of allowing. Thank you for sharing your presence today. We'll take the deepest breath of our day so far. Feeling the expansion of each inhale and grounding of each exhale as you deepen your breath. And then gently wiggle fingers and toes, letting the eyes flutter open in your own time, and coming to meet me in an upright position. Thank you so much for joining today. Until next time, thank you.